Good evening. It is day 102. I spent most of my day today in Chester, just doing the resupply and hanging out at the cafe and trying to get some stuff uploaded. Let's see, there was a church in town that let us stay there last night. It's another situation where they kind of have a backyard area and they'll allow hikers to camp, so that's really very, very nice of them, and certainly makes it easier and cheaper for hikers to be able to get into town and stay somewhere and do what they need to do while they're there. So that was very nice. And then hitched out back on trail. I'm probably only going to walk about another mile, which makes today a pretty short day of 9 miles, but I didn't start walking until 5 o'clock. So tomorrow we hit Lassen National Park, and that is an area where if you camp there, you're required to have a bear canister. So most PCT hikers just kind of shoot straight through there. It's about a 19-mile stretch. So I would have liked to have gotten out of town a little earlier today to get just a little bit closer to that boundary. But it'll be okay. So and I think it'll be honestly a nice walk through that park. So that is the plan for tonight and for tomorrow. So this is Terminal Geyser. This is a short side trip off the PCT. I read that it's not technically a geyser, but as you can see, it steams rather impressively. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The creek over here is running, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but there's steam coming off little parts of this water and little parts of it that are sort of boily, bubbly, and yeah, this water is obviously hot. Yeah, pretty impressive. I know you can't see him very well, but there is a bear. He's gonna walk across. There he is. So he's not terribly scared of us. Apparently, so there's a lake right here to my left, and I was just going for a swim in it. Apparently this guy was pretty close. I was changing afterwards. Everyone's like, hey, no. Look, did you see that bear behind you?
It was.
I mean, yeah, look, he's coming right.
No, it was. Because it was very close to me.
Yeah, exactly. If he was smaller, I think he'd be a little more intimidated by all three of us walking towards him, but he's not very intimidated.
Hey, wash your butt.
Just a bear. Have a swim.
No, not the big bear. Is that the same one?
Yeah. Oh. So this is Twin Lake. Not long ago, a few minutes ago, there was a bear swimming right here. I was down on that side of the lake over there, not very far though. And this is the trail right here. So we're gonna walk with much attention down the rest of this trail for a little while here. So you can you can make out this mountain behind the trees here. Someone in town yesterday told me that is probably Mount Lassen that I've been looking at for a few days. Although Mount Shasta should be around. But yeah, that's probably Mount Lassen right there. Hey, it's day 103, because I don't think I've said that today. But I saw a bear today, I'm sure you noticed. And that's my first technically on-trail bear, because the only other bear I've seen was in Yosemite, and I was in a car at the time. So on-trail bear, and it was pretty exciting. Pretty much every hiker I've been around today has seen a bear today. so, you know, Lassen National Park, where we hiked through, they have that requirement about bear canisters, and I think it's evident why. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. This bear, it was funny. So I went for a swim before I saw this bear, and it was the best swim I have had on trail because that lake water was like perfect. You know, I've been in lots of water, especially in the Sierra, and it was freezing cold, and you know, the temperature's been getting kind of hot, so it's hot in the afternoons again, and then I see this gorgeous lake, and oh, it was a lovely swim. I'm so glad I stopped to do that. But anyway, as I'm like, I've gotten out of the lake and I'm just changing out of my wet clothes, and one of the other hikers is like, no, do you know there's a bear behind you? And I'm like, what? Are you serious? I didn't know if he was just like messing with me because we had been talking about bears. But yeah, sure enough, big old brown bear. And it was funny because in the beginning we kind of looked at him, we're like, yeah, he's a little bear. Bears are not little, I don't think, ever, but like, yeah, he's a little bear, he's not big. And the more we watched him, we were like, oh no, he's kind of a big one. And it was funny because I guess when he decided he couldn't get our food, because I'm pretty sure that's why he was so close to us. Like, we all had our, you know, we had been in the lake, so all of our bags are just kind of hanging out. And if he had been maybe 10 minutes sooner, I think that bear would have well, he would have done well. He'd had quite a find with all of our bags sitting there while we were all in like the lake or hanging out by the lake. So when we, I guess, decided, okay, he's like, there's too many of them, I'm not going to get their food, we saw him walk down the lake a bit and rip apart this tree. And I don't know what bears eat that's under the bark, but it must be something, because for some reason he was ripping apart this tree, and all of us are like, yeah, he is not little. He is not the like cuddly little puppy dog bear we thought he was when we first saw him. So anyway, that was a pretty fun part of today. I don't think I would have been quite as brave as far as like looking and being close, not really truly close, but close to that bear had I been alone. But in a group, it felt nice, and it was cool. It was exciting to see one. I am in the process of doing one of my longest days on trail, I think. I'm probably just maybe a mile from where I plan to camp tonight, and I haven't really checked, but I think it's going to be close to like 29 miles, and for me, I mean, that's pretty good. There's other hikers that do that stuff, and they do their 30s, and they do like these huge days, and like, good for them, but like, I have made some progress, so that's pretty exciting. So I'm gonna get to it because I'm getting hungry, so it's dinner time. Also, if you happen to be watching, thank you to the We Are No Angels that left the whiskey and water a little ways back. That was the boost to get me through the rest of this long day. Good afternoon on day 104, pretty sure. I just left JJ's Cafe in Old Station, where I spent a good chunk of my late morning and early afternoon. Originally, I had just planned to go there for a cup of coffee and take advantage of the Wi-Fi for a bit, but then some of the other hikers were streaming one of the World Cup games, and I usually really enjoy following that and watching the games. This year I just haven't been able to because I've been mostly on trail, so I stuck around, watched the game. It was a good game. So yeah, spent a good chunk of my day there so far. And then, you know how I called Northern California the desert with trees? Well, up to this point, we've mostly seen trees. Here's the desert. It's hot and exposed. And the plants are a little different. There's still a few more trees than there were in Southern California. But it certainly feels like the desert. And I managed to time my departure from the cafe just perfectly to hit this section at the hottest time of the day. So well done, no on that one. I've got about probably 15 miles more to go to where I plan to camp today. So I'll be walking till a little later in the day because I took such a long break, but it was worth it. I had a good time. So anyway, I'm gonna keep on trudging. Whoop! Jeez, I'm so clumsy. Keep on trudging through this section here, and yeah, I don't think there'll be any lakes to jump into today, unfortunately. So a bit behind me now is Mount Lassen, and then now visible on the path ahead is this snowy giant. So, are you Mount Shasta? All right, it has been confirmed. That is indeed Mount Shasta. Really pretty views from this little parking lot lookout. And back to Lassen over here. It might be hot and exposed, but it's got views. So this has been a hot few hours. I think I had forgotten what it feels like to sweat from everywhere all at once. It's icky. It feels icky. However, I am hopeful that if it stays like this, that I'm gonna get a sweet sunset and some pretty nice stars from all this open sky. We'll find out. So dropped in elevation a bit, so I'm in the trees, so I don't think I'm gonna get quite the stunning sunset I was hoping for, although the sky will probably still be some nice colors. But over here is home for the night. So I'm gonna have some dinner and tuck in. So dirty. Look at this. That's crazy. Good morning on day 104. It's day 105. Sorry, it's just pretty. I wanted a video. Where's that wind farm at? Over there, you can't see it. It's another warm one. It's I don't know, early afternoon, and today's actually town day. You wouldn't know it by my lethargic pace, but I'm actually only a couple miles away from the highway where I can hitch to Burney. I stopped for lunch a couple miles back, and from my lunch spot I had 4 miles to go, and you know, I didn't want to get up and hike those 4 miles in the sun. Not all the time do you feel like walking, and today was a day I did not want to walk. But, you know, I told myself, okay, you walk those 4 miles, then you can have a shower, and you can spend the rest of the day not walking. Doesn't that sound nice? And then in the miles that I've been walking since then, I can only dream of cold drinks. I want a soda and a Gatorade and some cold water. Maybe I'll just walk into the gas station and just say, can I have one of everything in the cooler, please? That sounds good too. And then probably some ice cream to top it off. So anyway, I'll get there soon.